Hey guys, Mighty Gazelle here. Today I want to talk about something that has come to light in the past few days. A few days ago, episode 8 of Samurai Jack aired, and since it aired, there has been quite a lot of, I don't want to say backlash, but there's been a lot of heated debates amongst fans, a lot of disagreements about what people think should or shouldn't have happened. Um, in fact, it's gotten to the point where some people are just saying, I'm not going to watch the rest of Samurai Jack because of what happened, which I find kind of ridiculous. Um, so, what I'm talking about is the romance between Jack and Ashi. A lot of people are thrilled that it happened. They think it's awesome. This is something that they've actually really wanted to happen. Other people are furious over it happening. And there are a few that are just like, I don't really care. Let me just see the end where he fights Aku. Um, Before I say anything more, I just want to say that I respect everyone's opinion. Whether you are supporting this or not, you're free to choose however you want to view this. Um, I just kind of wanted to give my opinion as to how I felt and my stance behind it. Whether you agree with me or not, feel free to express it in any way. Comments, you can even dislike this video. It's okay with me. I just kind of want to know what you guys think on this whole subject. I'm going to give my 2 cents as to what I think, how I genuinely think, how I'm going forward with this, and yeah. Another thing I should mention: this video is I want to say everything correctly. I want my thoughts to be portrayed in the right way. So I'm going to use some notes that I took on my phone, and there's going to be a lot of cuts, but it's because I want to make sure that every thought that I had that I wrote down on my phone, I share correctly because I don't want anything I say to be misinterpreted. I don't want this to spark like a huge hatred toward me. I would hope not. This is just sharing an opinion. Um, but yeah, without further ado, I'm going to take a look at a note and then kind of give my thoughts on it. So there's going to be some cuts. I don't usually make a video like this, but that's just how this is going to be. So let's get to it. So one of the complaints that I've been hearing is that Ashi is new to this world, and it's kind of dumb that she immediately falls for the one person that she meets right away after coming into this world. They think that it feels forced and that it shouldn't happen, and that she is so inexperienced that she shouldn't be in a relationship with this guy who's technically, well, he's been on the earth for 70 years. He's not physically, he's only like 20, 25 or whatever. And some people think that that's weird, that's wrong. Um, all I'm going to say, what I want to mention about this is that without Jack's intervention, without him, so she initially hunts him down with her sisters, and he proceeds to kill all of them. But in her state where she is face to face with him, instead of killing her, 'cause she's like restrained, he says, "You know what? I'm going to try to like." He sits down and says, "I'm going to try to maybe I can convince her that Aku's the true evil." Um, and without him putting the chance out there to try to convince her that she's wrong, her life would be a lie. It would be, from there on out, it would be nothing of a semblance of a normal life. She's been sort of brainwashed her whole life to think that Aku's the leader, that Jack is evil. So without his intervention, she wouldn't even have a normal life to live. Also, people are saying that since she's not experienced enough, that she shouldn't be in a relationship. Well, okay, if that's the case, then what do you want? Do you want her to wait 10 more years or whatever till she's experienced enough in the world to love? Um, by then, she'd be like 30 something, and it's like, it's, this dives into something I'm going to talk about Jack later, but it's weird to me that people think it's not okay to love someone at her age. One of the common things that I've been hearing is the phrase born sexy yesterday, which is basically the trope of where usually a woman comes into the world with basically no ability to function on her own, but comes across a male figure that provides a source of security, and basically she leans on for support, and then she ends up loving this character basically because she relies on him. That is not the case for Ashi. Ashi is clearly very smart and capable on her own. She patrolled the whole lands looking for Jack when he went missing on her own. She didn't have anyone's help. She can easily fend for herself. She can understand things on her own. And then the time comes when she has no obligation to Jack whatsoever. But she makes, after Jack sees the Green Warrior and goes off, she makes the choice on her own without ever, she doesn't need the samurai, she doesn't need him at all. She makes the choice to go looking for him, to help him. And even when the Woolies appear and they ask if she's his friend, she's like, I don't really know. She's still looking for him because she wants to help him. That is her own decision. No one made her do it. This was her, just kind of her heart telling her what to do. And she goes off and she saves his life in return. He saved her life earlier, but without even him asking for help or anyone telling her to do so, she goes off and saves him from committing suicide. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the age difference, because obviously Jack has been on the Earth for about 75 years, and Ashi no more than 25. She's got to be at least like 20. So yes, Jack's mind is technically about 75 years old. His body is about 25 because it has not aged. But Jack literally has the nicest heart you could ever ask from someone. He is not someone who would abuse anyone. He is someone who is purely kind and loving and respectful to everyone he ever meets. Even the gods say you are worthy to use the sword because you have a pure heart. He has always been goofy. He has always shown people respect, especially Ashi. He's never once come on to her. He's just as goofy as always, and he, even when the scene comes where she's naked, he's like, "Oh my God, you're naked." He like, if he was some sort of bad guy, he would have done something different in that scenario. But he's bashful. He's so innocent, and what I mentioned earlier with Ashi, where she's not used to the world, so what do you want to wait for her to wait 10 years? With Jack, he's too old to be in a relationship with her. So does that mean that you're not comfortable with him ever being in a relationship? Because that's going to be the case for anyone else he ever meets for the rest of his life. He's going to be too old and it'd be too weird. At the end of the day, these are the two best people for each other. They've both had not the same, but they've both had a terrible past. They've just had nothing but suffering their whole life, and they find strength in one another. They find joy in one another. And I found the entire interaction between them so organic. And as for, I'm gonna talk a little bit. I'm gonna look at my notes after this, but I'm gonna talk a little bit about the thought that everyone says it's rushed. So all love is different. Some love develops over a long period of time. Some love develops relatively fast. These two characters have been through numerous situations where they've almost died, but they've also taken care of one another. And I think, here, I'm going to just read what my notes said. Here's what I said in my notes. I'm just going to read it to you. All love is different. Some love develops fast, some over long stretches of time. After spending some time together, after saving each other's lives multiple times, and after yet another near-death battle, they simply follow an impulse and kiss each other. I fail to see anything wrong with it. I mean, at the point where they kiss, multiple times they've been just backs against the wall fighting something with someone's life on the line. And between each battle, they've had times where they've just been together in each other's company. And I think that leads me to one of my final points here. Love is not blind. Love is a powerful, raw emotion. You will know true love when you see it and feel it, and neither one of these characters has any reason to have false love. Both have suffered, both are without family or friends, and they find comfort in one another and have formed a respect from each other through their adventure. Love isn't so simple that any one of us can declare it as false or rushed. I feel like this romance was brought up beautifully well, and I think that so many people are taking issue with it because it has been done in a way that we have never seen before. Now, what do I mean by that? I have one last sort of thing I want to mention in this discussion. Samurai Jack, the thing that makes Samurai Jack unique at its core, and I'm not talking about its characters, the plot, anything like that. The thing that made the original Samurai Jack so special, and I think that a lot of people don't think about this enough, but this is the reason that I think it hooked so many people. Samurai Jack, its key strength is visual storytelling. The lack of dialogue is what separates Samurai Jack from so many other shows, cartoons, anime, whatever you want to say, from it just separates itself from the pack. The thing about visuals is they are interpreted by everyone different ways. You can have a character say something how they feel, and it's like, okay, I know exactly how you're feeling. But with visuals, you can interpret it like a multitude of ways. And a lot of Jack's and Ashi's interactions are physical and visual. They don't say too much to each other, but the whole time that they're looking at each other, or next to each other, or even in contact with each other, there are thoughts racing through their mind that we can't hear, but we just don't hear it because it's not projected through words, because the story is being told through visuals. So, and that's by Genndy's choice, because if you ask me, I think that's a much more beautiful way to tell a story. To ask the viewer to dig a little deeper than what people are saying and just look. Look, and what do you feel about what you're looking at? And I think that it's incredibly hard to pull off, but I think that they did it very well. So basically what I'm trying to say is, my opinion is not right, first of all. You feel free to feel like this was a rushed romance, but I think at the end of the day, these two characters really make each other happy. And I think, personally, I think it was developed very well. There were little suggestions throughout the whole series, and I was someone who was originally on the father-daughter thing up until about episode 5. I was pretty firmly like, I prefer that to happen because it's something that we don't really see a whole lot. But then episodes 6 and 7 happened, and then my mind started to sort of shift. And I mentioned that in my reviews, I think I did. Based on the different interactions that they had, saving each other's lives, the little comments they made to each other, the way they smiled at each other, you could tell that there's something brewing beneath the surface, that just because they don't say it, it doesn't mean it's not happening. And I think that it was done very well, and I think episode 8 is being bagged on way too hard because that was the first time it was really out in the open, that it was really just shoved in your face and shown. There has been a lot building up to this, that just because it wasn't thrown at you the whole time, it was actually happening. And I think if you go back and watch, like I have, you'll notice some of the things that you missed before. I'm not saying you'll definitely notice them, but I hope that you'll at least see a few of the things. One last note here before I wrap up this video. Genndy has provided us a series we all love, and when this comes up, everyone loses their minds and bags on the show. The man has earned my respect and trust, and I don't see that his decision did any harm. At the end of the day, this is his story that he wants to tell. And the reason that we love Samurai Jack so much is because of this guy, you know? Genndy made this series out of dreams that he had as a kid about he wanted someone to be in the future, to fight monsters as a samurai and meet a girl and save the day. He's quoted as saying that in not several, but one of his interviews. That's what he said his dream was as a kid. And this is his dream coming to fruition. And I think that, as we all know, we love this series so much and we love everything he's done. I don't see why this deserves so much hate. We're near the end of the series, and I hope that we can just all enjoy the last 2 episodes together. Whether you feel great about the romance or not, this is still, at the end of the day, Jack's story and Genndy's story to tell, and I think it's going to be a very exciting conclusion. I want to apologize for the cut-chop nature of this, but I didn't really know how to go about this because I wanted to say everything I was thinking, and I feel like I still missed a few things, but feel free to dislike this video. If you really hate my opinion that much, that's okay. Feel free to express yourself that way. Even down in the comments, you can say I'm an idiot for how I feel about it. I'm wrong, this was rushed, that's okay. I'm just making this video to share a true fan's opinion. If any of you attack each other, though, in the comments, like if you call someone else a moron or call someone else an idiot, I'm going to be monitoring this video because I don't want people to get their feelings hurt or anything like that. And it's like, oh, boo-hoo, someone got their feelings hurt. Well, you know what? I like to keep this channel relatively family-friendly, even though this is Samurai Jack and it's TV-14, whatever. You guys know what I mean. Just respect each other. feel free to share your opinions, but just respect each other. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. Interesting topic. A lot of stuff going on. Tumblr's a war zone. I don't even dare talk about Tumblr. That's like, I have nor the strength nor the energy to dive into what's happening in Tumblr. That's just a war zone. Staying away from that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you found some insightful information from me from this, how I feel as we approach the last few episodes. Until next time, this has been Mighty Gazelle, and I hope you all have a mighty day. See you guys.